Are you struggling with burnout, meaning that there's a level of energy, motivation, and passion that you know you used to be able to tap into, but right now it's nowhere to be found? Maybe you feel like you're pouring from an empty cup and you know, hey, I probably should work out. I should start doing something better for my body and my health. But the idea of adding another thing to your plate just feels completely insane and insurmountable. If that's where you're at, then this lesson is going to be perfect for you. My name is Brian Pickowitz. I'm one of the head coaches here at the Fitness Project, where we focus on building fit and healthy leaders. Now, one of the things that we know is that in order for any transformation to be possible, we first need energy. Whether it's transforming our body, our business, our career, or something in our personal life, we need energy to get momentum, because that's what's going to allow us to push to the other side of whatever challenges we may face. And if you're feeling burnt out right now, that energy is probably non-existent. And so today I want to share with you our burnout recovery formula. This is a live training I did in one of our private communities that's going to show you 3 key things. First, what are the warning signs that you're approaching burnout or maybe even in it? Second, how do you build preventative routines into your daily life so you can keep your cup full and continue to push yourself without losing your edge? And then lastly, how do we recover? Once we've recognized that we're sitting in that burnout and that fatigue, what do we do to actually get momentum again and start regaining our energy without just simply piecing out, taking off 2 weeks on vacation, and going back to the same problem that created that burnout to begin with? Now, I hope this is helpful, but please let me know in the comment section what your big takeaway is, what you gained from this, and what's the one habit that you need to start focusing on more to regain your energy and start feeling your best. With that being said, I hope this is helpful. Let's dive in. I believe we are live. What's going on, everyone here on Facebook? Thank you so much for your patience. Super excited to have you all here, and we are live to have you here on my phone. We're about to dive into the burnout recovery formula. So I want to do this live training in a very special way to add some insights to your life about how to recover from burnout. Now, we know for a lot of you, burnout is a persistent problem. So if you are someone who struggles with burnout, you're feeling fatigued, type burnout in the comment section and let us know if you're here on the live stream or if you're here on the playback. So today, our masterclass, this mini training, is really about helping business leaders like yourself learn how to overcome stress, reclaim your energy, and build the body that will allow you to keep up with the ambition of your life. Right? If we're performing in our career and we're starting to feel that energy drain, we know that we have to get things fixed. We have to have our habits dialed in, because without energy, no great change is possible, right? All great changes require one thing, whether it's in your business, your body, your marriage, your life, you need energy. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, is how do you get that energy, especially if you're starting to feel burnt out. Now, before we dive in, again, I want to hear on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your daily focus on 1 to 10? Right? How would you rate your daily focus on a scale of 1 to 10? Put that in the chat box. Let me know. Are you a 1? Man, I'm scattered. I have no energy. I have no focus. I'm all over the place. And then I'm curious, how would you describe those energy or focus levels? I'm a 1 and I'm just drained. Or I'm a 5 and I'm scattered. Or I'm a 10 out of 10 and I feel magnificent. Right? Where are you at? Love to hear in the chat box as we dive in. Where are you on a scale of 1 to 10 when it comes to focus and energy? And then also, how would you describe your energy levels? Just let us know in the comment section below, and we'll continue to make this an amazing little masterclass for you. So, as we're getting started, I want to get some points of familiarity. I want to understand where you're at. Because for a lot of people, there's this sense that no matter how much they do, no matter how much they sleep, no matter how much they're rested, they still feel exhausted. They still feel tired. Their brain won't shut off, right? They're so constantly exhausted at the end of the day that they can't silence their mind because they're racing and they're thinking about what's about to come tomorrow. Maybe that's where you're at. Or maybe you're someone who's struggling to stay on task. You're recognizing that your focus is dwindling. You're recognizing that it's hard to tap into that sense of drive or that sense of motivation like you used to have. For some reason, it's not there. Or maybe your fitness and health has taken a backseat because you're so exhausted. and you're struggling to have enough energy to push through the rest of the day, never mind get a workout in or meal prep or do the things that you know you're supposed to do, but you really don't have the energy for it. If that's where you're at, then these might be signs that you're burnt out or you're getting close, right? So you might be burnt out or it might be a sign that you're getting close. The key here is knowing that you're not alone, right? It's very common, very, very common for us all to experience burnout, especially when we're pushing in our business or our career. We have responsibilities. Maybe you have a family, right? And maybe you haven't really been taking care of yourself and you're starting to notice that. If that's where you're at, it's completely okay. In fact, Deloitte did a survey recently and they found that 77% of the respondents had experienced burnout in their current job. 77%. And I was looking at another study, although that this was relative to healthcare professionals, the amount of healthcare professionals that said they were burnt out doubled between the years of 2019 and 2021. Went from something like 30% to 68%. Now, obviously, that's pandemic related, but still, we all felt it, and we're still feeling it, right? We're still feeling the side effects of that burnout, right? The stress, the anxiety, the worry, all those things compounding, not taking care of ourselves. And so if you're in that state, it's really important to know that there's nothing wrong with you, right? Sometimes we judge ourselves, we beat ourselves up. We say, oh my gosh, I shouldn't be so burnt out. I shouldn't be so fatigued. That's not true. It's completely normal, and it's a sign that you're pushing really hard. So, hey, we can celebrate that, but we also need to be taking care of you, right? You need to be taking care of yourself so you can continue to perform, continue to be your best. So the challenge for a lot of people is they think the only way I'm going to relax is to get a vacation. But oftentimes, it's completely unrealistic. And the distance between us and that vacation or that time away is so far that we're not really building a lifestyle around our ability to process stress, to be more resilient, and to recover in an ample way, right? If you think about it, you're going to have a lot of stress in your life. You're going to have a lot of responsibilities. There's going to be challenges. And if your only way of recovering from that is a vacation or going on the beach, I don't know about you, but that doesn't seem really practical, right? Especially not right now in the winter months. So we have to find a better way. We have to find a better way to manage stress. We have to find a better way to reverse burnout, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Because the problem isn't that you're working too hard. The problem isn't even that you're under stress, right? That's normal. It's part of life. Stress is a sign that we're alive. And it's really important for all those achievers. The fact that you're feeling fatigued doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you need more willpower. The real problem is that you aren't putting enough energy into preventative routines, right? We're not building habits at the front of our days or at the front of our weeks that will help us stay healthy. So we have to start doing that. We have to build preventative measures so we feel better throughout the days. And we also need to learn how to recover. So we have to be able to recover. If we're not properly recovering from burnout, we're always going to be stressed and we're always going to be taxed. Now today, what we're going to focus on is really simple. We're going to focus on first building awareness around the cycle of burnout so you can see where you're at and start putting some new routines in place. We're also going to talk about a 3-step burnout-proof daily routine that you can implement right in this moment. You can start executing today. And then we're going to offer you a really special recovery plan that's going to make it really simple for you to start getting momentum, because momentum is everything when it comes to making a change. Now, before we dive in, why should you listen to me? Why should you listen to us? Well, this is me and Lindsay. We are the head coaches here at the Fitness Project. We have coached thousands of business owners and business leaders all across the U.S. on how to get healthy so they can continue to perform at their best. One of the things that we look at is not just how do we eat and how do we move, but how do we start to really take care of our body and our mind in a way that allows us to continue to perform, continue to have longevity, and really see that ripple effect across all of our life. What we believe is that when you're healthy, when you're fit, you become a powerful force for good, because your health dictates your energy, and your energy makes the world of difference when it comes to the way you show up in your work, for your family, in every walk of life. Over the last 5 years in the fitness project, but for almost a decade now, we've coached some of the most ambitious business owners, business leaders, and executives, and really taught them how to integrate fitness into their life. So not only are they getting fantastic results, right, like these stunning results, not only losing weight, not only are they changing their body, but they're doing it in a way that allows them to show up their best. And so the principles I'm going to teach you today, are very much what we're teaching our clients at the Fitness Project. And I hope that there's some nuggets here that you can grapple onto that will make your journey to being healthier and continue to be that fit, healthy leader that you know you want to be much easier. Now, I think it's important that we create a definition for burnout before we dive in. What is burnout, right? What is this experience of fatigue and exhaustion that you might be experiencing? Well, burnout can be defined as a chronic physical, mental, or emotional exhaustion that is caused by long-term stress, overwork, and a lack of recovery. Pretty good definition. You can see how it's not just the physical stress, right? It's the mental load. It is the emotional load. It's the, oh my God, I keep trying and I feel like I'm failing, or I'm pushing against my comfort zone. There's always a challenge. If we're not adequately recovering, and we're not recovering in a timely manner, then we're going to get burnt out. And that's where things really start to compound. If I could give you just one piece today, it would be that you have to learn how to recover from long-term stress. Right? We have to learn how to recover from chronic stress, because chronic stress is what leads to heart disease, actually can increase your likelihood for diabetes. It can increase the likelihood of getting a neurological disease or some kind of, we'll say, medical condition that is the byproduct of you always being under stress, right? So we have to be able to see that. We have to be able to see that, hey, a lot of these things that we might be worried about as we age could be the byproduct of the stress that we're under. And if we can learn how to better manage that stress, then we'll get to the other side. So if that's what burnout is, you can also think of the cycle like this. A lot of people talk about, oh my gosh, like when I have my energy, when I'm at my best, I feel like I'm pouring from a full cup. But as you wear on, that cup goes from full to about half full. And if you keep pouring, you get very close to empty. And before you know it, you're in a lot of pain, right? You're in a lot of pain. Now, we don't want that to happen to you, but you can start to see that this cycle might be something that's normal for you. Maybe you're here, right? Maybe you are at the full mark, and that's fantastic. My goal today is to show you how to sit around here. That's what we're going to talk about. The solution, if you're in this state, though, where you're pouring from full and you're starting to realize you're empty, is prevention. So if you're recognizing that, hey, I know what it feels like to be at my best, but this last couple weeks, man, I've been just knocked out. I've been hit hard. I have no energy. Well, we got to start working out. We got to start doing some practices that will allow us to refill that gap. That will give us our energy back. That will make it easier for us to be at our best, right? Because that's how we refill the cup, right? We've all heard people say, I feel like I'm pouring from an empty cup. I need to refill my cup. Well, this is how we're going to do that. We need to look at some preventative measures. So some signs you might need to focus on preventative habits. First, you're feeling more drained than usual, even after you sleep, feeling mild fatigue, irritability, mild difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep, and you're lacking motivation to work out, right? You're starting to feel withdrawn from those things that you love. So it's a sign that, hey, I got to put some preventative habits in place. The preventative habits are the things you know you're supposed to do. We just need to get back to them. Making sure you're sleeping daily, making sure you're getting daily movement, working out 3 to 4 days a week, proper hydration. And this is really important. Practical boundaries with technology. So important, because technology is one of the things that wears on our psychology, wears on our bandwidth. Minimally processed diet choices, right? Eating foods that are healthy for us. Quality time with those you love outside of work, right? Doing some hobbies, doing things you love. And then some daily stillness. Just being able to be present without technology. All these are really helpful ways that you can start to have preventative habits. And prevention is really movement, things that are good for your body, and things that are good for your mind and soul. Things that are good for your emotion, right? People who have other people in their life tend to live longer. It's a fact. So making sure that you're putting quality people in your life, it's a very important piece if you want this to be a preventative habit that you're going to work into your day, right? So it might be time with a loved one, might be time with your kids, might be some movement, some exercise. But these are all preventative ways for us to get our energy back. Now, what do you do if you're starting to pour from an empty cup, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm burnt out, I'm fatigued, and I'm starting to get empty. Well, that's where the solution is recovery. Recovery needs a little bit more attention. I was in the need for recovery this last week. After the last 3 months, I was like, oh my gosh, I am feeling it. I'm not sleeping. I feel burnt out. I feel so tired. I feel overworked. So I had to take a break. And maybe that's what you need to do. One of my mentors said, hey, Brian, people used to think I'm so crazy because every few months I have to take a vacation. Like every 6 weeks I take a vacation. He's like, people used to think I was crazy, but my psychology needed it. I was so fatigued that if I didn't, I wasn't able to push harder. You can have that same awareness too. So instead of saying, I got to push through, it's like, I got to rebuild. I got to get my energy back. If you're here, my encouragement is take an intentional break. Start dropping some unnecessary stressors, whether that's things or people. And also give yourself permission to slow down. It's okay to say, I need to rest right now. All the work will be there, I promise. It's okay to take a break. The second thing is you need to reset your nervous system, right? We're living in this fight or flight state. We're always on. So we need to shift from fight or flight to recovery. The best way to do this is prioritize your sleep. Make it a non-negotiable. A few years ago, I made the focus of my fitness, not weight training, not running, not nutrition, but sleep, because I needed it. I needed my body's energy to come back. So getting those 7 to 9 hours of sleep, make it non-negotiable. Make it the most important thing for your body. And I guarantee you'll eat better, you'll feel better, and in time you'll have more time as well because you'll be more focused. Second on that is make sure you're nourishing your body with great food. The food you eat impacts the way you recover, impacts your brain, impacts everything you can do. And then last, breath work. Right? Keeping your breath work, keeping some cold exposure, ways you can reset your nervous system and help you feel at peace throughout the day. Another recovery tool is micro movement. So if you don't feel like you can push your body to a workout, start with some small movements. Start with some small workouts. Simple little things that you can do are meet your body where you're at so you're not overwhelmed, but start getting gradual movements, right? If it's too hard for you to push, steps, yoga, maybe some minimal strength training. Don't feel like you have to go from 0 to 100. And then lastly, put some joy back in your life. Put some joy back into your days. Start enjoying yourself by reconnecting to things you love. Put some hobbies in your life. Audit your commitments, right? Ask what's draining me, what energizes me. Can I do more of the things that energize me? Can I let go of some of those things that are draining me? And then next, set some clear work-life boundaries. Slack can go away. Email can go away. Nothing's going to burn down because you took a weekend to get yourself right. So this is the recovery, right? We do need to sleep. We need to remove technology. We need to add in some non-work related tasks that spark our creative joy. These are things that are a must. That's how you get from empty back to that 25% mark. And then you start working up, right? That's what we need to do to recover. So if you understand, all right, maybe I'm in the preventative space where I just had a tough week, tough month. I need to start, get a good workout in. I need to get some sleep this weekend. Or maybe you're in the recovery zone where you're really fatigued, really burnt out. How do you apply this on a daily basis? Well, there's really a 3-step burnout proof routine that I want to show you. The first is our 1% morning routine, right? You got to start your morning in a way that puts you in a peak state. in a way that puts you in a prime state to take on the day. If you're just passively going into the day, you're not going to be in the best zone to attack and to feel good and to be able to handle whatever comes your way. So the 1% morning routine is 10 minutes. Take 10 minutes of your day. It's roughly 1% of your waking hours, waking minutes, if you will, to get some movement and get some stillness. For me, I get 1,000 steps in and I do some breath work. 1% of my day sets me up for the rest. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to have a midday check-in. So if you're noticing that there's this peak in the day where you're burned out, you're stressed, you're like, oh my God, there's so many things going on, that's your sign to go for a walk. As soon as you're no longer focused, you got to get some movement in. You got to do something to get your energy back and separate yourself from the day. And if you can't, if you're like, oh my God, I don't have time, at least hydrate. Have some way to check in and say, am I taking care of myself? It's a moment in time that can make the world of difference. And then the last piece of this routine is an evening come down. Right? That might be spending time with a loved one, spending time with your kids, spending time with your partner. It might be, more than anything, getting off your phone and having 30 to 60 minutes before you go to bed where you can decompress and get sleep. Again, sleep is the most important piece for you to get out of chronic stress, because when you sleep, your brain actually heals itself. So if you're not sleeping, that's the most important thing you can do. These all stack together, so you have 3 simple steps to have a more preventative way to manage stress throughout the day. When I have my 1% morning routine, 5 to 10 minutes or 10 to 15 minutes where I'm priming. I'm getting my body ready, I'm getting myself ready, I'm excited, getting my energy, right? And then I'm going to that midday check-in where I say, hey, I've been working for maybe 5 hours, I'm going to go for a walk, or I'm going to make sure I hydrate. I'm going to do something simple for myself so that I can zoom out and reset from what I've done. And then the last thing is make sure you have an evening come down. Spend quality time with those you love. Reconnect with those that matter most to you. Have some stillness. And then the last piece is get off your phone. Because your phone activates your cortisol. It makes it hard for your body to produce melatonin, and that makes it hard for you to sleep. So you got to know the way that your technology is interacting with you so you can actually recover and get rest. Now, the key here, again, in this small little training, is understanding that first, most important thing to reversing burnout is being aware of its warning signs. It's essential. You have to be able to recognize it. And then second, recognize that taking time to recover and recharge is actually essential to your performance. All these things I talked about were essential. You have to be able to put these in place so you can get to the other side and prevent chronic stress. And then lastly, remember this. Small daily habits, like the small 3-step routine, will help you maintain your full energy tank, and it will lead you to more focus throughout the day. So just that simple little process, something that Lindsay and I do every day, makes it easy for you to continue to perform at your best and get you out of stress on the busy days where it feels like, oh my God, there's so much on my plate. You have the 10 minutes, you can do a simple little check-in, and then sleep is the most important piece. So I wanted to bring this up because I think that you can hear this all and be like, okay, so where do I start? It's important. Do not overcorrect. And also don't aim to be perfect. One of the things that we teach all of our clients in the Fitness Project is how to habit ramp. Habit ramping is knowing where you are, knowing where you want to be, and then dialing up your habits so you can continue to be successful. But it's not about jumping from step 10 to step 100. It's about knowing, hey, there's some steps in between that if I just keep getting 1% better every day, I will finally get to the point where this is a lifestyle change and I can just maintain this consistently. Now, if this resonates with you, you might also be feeling like, oh my gosh, but yes, I do have weight loss goals. I do want to know how to strength train. I do want to know how to actually put this in practice. I need some accountability. I need some more direction. And if that's where you're at, we have a special gift. So if you made it this far and you've been resonating with this approach to small habits and understanding how do you actually recover, How do you get out of burnout? How do you do this in a way that's applicable and practical for you? Well, we don't want to just leave you and say, oh my gosh, there's so much information. What the heck do I do? We want to make it easy. We want to show you a better way. And we also want to support you, right? We want to give you this easy step so that you can say, okay, what do I need to focus on? And how do I get to where I want to be? And the way we're going to do that is by giving you a complimentary coaching session. So if you're in a space where you're like, yes, I have this goal to actually get healthy this year. I've been trying on my own. And I'm just not seeing the progress that I want. I still feel fatigued. I feel burnt out. I'm not getting the result that I want. Then we want to offer you an opportunity to connect with Lindsay and I. All you have to do is comment burnout. If this talk resonated with you and you found value, you're like, what's the next step? How do I actually start getting results? How do I go from where I am to where I want to be? How do I get the accountability and strategy to not only change my body, but make fitness a part of my life that allows me to feel my best? Comment burnout. One of our team members will reach out to you and we'll set up a call. Completely complimentary. It's all about your mindset, your progress, the things you want to work on, and then what are the strategies in between? What do we have to work on? What do we have to focus on? So comment burnout. We'll make sure we set you up with a call. Get it complimentary, completely free. And if you do have questions, I'm going to be answering them in the comment section back and forth. So type a 1 or type your question rather in the chat box in the comment section. And I'd love to answer any of the questions that came up from this. I'd love to hear where you're at and see how we can support you. So let me know, ask your questions. Make sure if you want, hey, comment burnout. Love to support you, love to hear more about your goals and see how we might be able to support you with getting healthy. So I hope this is helpful. If you're on the live stream, I hope this is helpful if you're watching this on the playback. I hope there's a big takeaway. So let me know whether it's a question or your big takeaway in the comment section. And again, meet yourself where you're at. Don't overcorrect. Do the small things and know that your health is the most important thing you could ever spend your time and energy on. You only have one body, right? We only get one body. We need to focus our attention there because it's the thing that keeps us moving through every season of life. So I hope this is helpful. Let me know your big takeaway and go and have a restful and recovery weekend. Talk to you soon. Cheers.